So fast.
So this is the task for this week. I already insert library system in the Google Classroom. You can refer to that also. The one that I showed yesterday during lecture. So today your task is to start with the operation schema. So my suggestion is for you to look into CRUD first. Okay, so when you want to do your operation schema, check on the input-output variables. Okay, what are the input and output variables that you needed? So this is what you call as query or change state schema. Okay, and then after that, is there any preconditions that you have to do? Check any possible preconditions that you can have in your operation schema, and then do the update. Okay, so my suggestion is you go for CRUD first, for you to understand how to start with your operation schema. Also, because yesterday you learned a little bit about the relation already, you may have a look at your state space, but if you still don't want to do that, it's okay. After you finish next week with function, then you can actually look back at your state space. Is there any relation or function involved? Okay, so for today, what I want you to do is actually more on the operation schema. Try to look into the CRUD first. Okay? All of you can sign in. Any of you who have problems, sign in. Just give you the code again. Cannot sign in. Anybody else? Hema. Okay. Which one? 15 and 15. Okay. 14 also. Yes. Yeah?
Miss, got question for this our medicine module. We got problem because
Name, description.
no say is it correct or not?
Name, medicine, expiry date, supplier, manufacturer. From here, price here and or what?
Yeah.
Price, medicine price here. Is it number or what you put here?
Number, how many price?
So,
Is
it
N?
Not the whole thing, just medicine price only. Not N like that. You have to look at the ID also. Different ID will have different price.
So
only that one. Same thing for the quantity. Is it N also?
Yes.
Then you change to N.
Quantity.
The stock quantity. Medicine quantity, stock quantity.
So
this one also.
And then
minimum is what?
For the minimum stock quantity cannot be negative so
why not you just put that as a axiomatic definition?
Because I also put the as a axiomatic but when
axiomatic must be before, not after.
This one we put it here axiomatic.
Okay, so you have that, then why you need to have minimum there?
Because we
because
want
you have
to
the
do
medicine quantity there.
Want to do the add medicine operation
Yeah, but you have the medicine quantity, right? Just now, the end, right? Medicine quantity.
Uh-huh.
So you can use that to know what is the stock available in your system already lah. This one. And here. Medicine quantity and here. This one. That's the third. Okay. And there, right? So from here you know how many inside your system already.
Oh, because what I think is the medicine quantity is when the doctor make the prescription and then will put how many medicine will use
Okay, that one is for the
for the
prescription.
patient.
This one is the medicine in the clinic or prescription? This one.
This one is the medicine and got another for prescription.
So
Also other
prescription is the quantity there, right? Medicine there is the medicine in the clinic, right? Let's say you have Panadol, you have 200 biji lah, Panadol. But prescription only you give 12 only. So you minus lah, means the quantity in the stock 200 minus 12. So left with how many? So that is medicine in the shop and in the clinic. But the one that you have prescription is for one person, patient ID, right? Prescription for patient, right? So you give some to them. So you have to differentiate which one. If medicine is the stock in the clinic, that quantity is to show the whole stock. So you don't need the minimum. The minimum, you have the minimum stock already, right? So that one relate to medicine lah. But if let's say prescription is something that you give to the patient, then you minus the stock here. If the stock is lower than minimum stock, then you low quantity lah. Then you have to request to buy more or something like that. So you have to think like that. Because if you have this quantity, that quantity is the same, then totally wrong already lah. So medicine, if like medicine is stock of the medicine, just now what prescription
prescription.
Prescription is to give to the patient, then it's two different things. This one is the stock medicine, this one is the one given to the patient.
So mean even though is same put the medicine quantity, but
that's okay. Later you will use different data. When you want to add stock, you go for this one. Patient there, the prescription is you want to give to the patient. Means that if the patient comes to the shop, come to the clinic, okay, you have to give prescription, right? Means that when you meet the doctor, I don't know lah whether you have prescription to the patient, right? So you have to use prescription state space, but the quantity here you give 3, but you have to update also the medicine. Means that link the two together. Means that even though you give prescription to the patient, but you need to call there is an update to medicine also, because you have to minus the quantity in the medicine. Prescription you give to the patient, right? But when you give to the patient, then you minus from the medicine.
Okay.
You have to do minus, plus, minus all those things lah, calculation lah.
So this one can delete lah.
Do you want to have this minimum stock here? Then you put rent. Okay, medicine quantity and stock quantity, is it the same? Equal to the same data?
If not, now it's same before it's not
then remove one lah. Then you put rank, medicine quantity, less or equals to minimum stock. Greater or equal to 0 baru you nak.
Because
if let's say no stock at all, means you are not going to buy. Let's say you have 5 in the clinic, right? Let's say about batuk 5 bottles only 5 bottle Are you going to make it 0? Then when patient come out batuk you don't have any more medicine. Are you going to have that? Or you have minimum in the clinic must be at least 5. If lesser than 5, then you pergi order lah from prior lah. So that is what we call as minimum stock here. So that you can have low stock operation. Okay, you can have that. So you think but you have to consider also, because when it comes to medicine you have different type of medicine. Tablet, liquid, tablet liquid you check lah. so maybe also the injection different also. So from there will be different ml, or you can consider in terms of bottle, in terms of tablet. So from there you can consider all those things. In terms of quantity, there relate to bottles, or relate to tablets, or relate to what. So maybe you have different minimum stock. So if you have different minimum stock, then maybe here you don't need this part, the less than or greater than 0, because maybe bottle, you make sure that if 10 bottle in the clinic, then no stock already, then you request for bottles . If let's say tablet, you have what do you call papan, that one, the tablet, that one. So if let's say you have a box, the small box, right? If let's say you have 2 box only, maybe that one is very low already. So different quantity. So if you have different quantity minimum stock, you don't need this part. It's up to what kind. Let's say you have a type, okay, bottle or box or injection or liquid, whatever. So you refer to that. If liquid, you have minimum quantity that you have. If lower than that, you order something like that lah.
So we need to write for different
Yeah. You have to
medicine.
see read more about that. The clinic you cannot have like tablet, not all because you have bottle, you have just for injection or something like that. So what are the things that not all just consider a few lah. I know that in the clinic you have many. Even though let's say you luka whatever, right? Then you have this kau tempat all this balik. Do you want to consider that or not? So you have to look into that lah. If you don't want to consider that, okay, just consider in the medicine that you eat or liquid whatever, something like that. Different type. Okay. Look into that. So you can do the type using free type, bottle or tablet, whatever, as free type. Then you look at the medicine ID. What is the type there? If bottle, then you look at the low stock. Stock, let's say 5 is the minimum. If lesser than 5 means low stock already. Then you can actually request for buy the product from the supplier and so on.
So means do different antibiotic definition for, let's say,
if you want can, if you want to have specific minimum. If you don't want to have specific minimum, you just have minimum stock only. No need the below part.
Then inside the
Just put less or equals to minimum stock. Then you don't consider that lah. Means it's up to you. But if you want to consider, then you have to say lah. If you have to do like here in your predicate part, you have to do for all type tablet, minimum stock is 5. Bottle minimum 5. If let's say tablet minimum what, then you can do set comprehension kan inside the predicate part.
So if you do that,
Just put the minimum stock.
you just put minimum stock here lah. Then here don't have. You can refer, try open the library see whether got or not. I think got under library system. Under library system, there is state space called library system also inside that file. I think I give, okay. Go to down, there's a library state space. Go down. Library state space. Okay. Something like this. Where you can do something like that. But of course, this one is staff and student lah. To borrow book, whatever lah.
so means this one consider the free type we
This one is like declaration of variable of type. Means that here, student means from the users. There's a variable called students there, so you declare that type same you can use it. Okay, so you can do something like this in your predicate part to show that the minimum stock just now lah for bottle, for tablet, whatever lah. You can do like that.
So means if let's say we put it, let's say the medicine type we put in the free type like this type. Then when we
Actually, you can put in your state space, but it's not like general lah. Means that you have different minimum lah. It means you have to state. If let's say bottle, Then you have to state lah. Can also in your operation, but normally we put inside the state space easier lah. Then we know already the minimum stock for bottle is what lah. Then your condition is less than minimum stock enough. So if the type you follow the type in your in your state space, if the type bottle, then you know already the minimum stock is this one. So you don't need to consider 5, 10, whatever. You don't need to know the value. Already you put the minimum stock value, the minimum variable value. Enough already. So you can have a look at this also, how to do that.
I also got one question is for the administration one, because I want to say the peak condition is the stock quantity maybe is under the minimum, and I want to add the medicine. I want to stock in some medicine.
Okay. So this is the one lah. This is the one, the minimum stock here lah. You don't have minimum, so you do less than lah. Less or equal lah.
Or less or equal to minimum stock.
But now your minimum is 0. Mana boleh negatif?
Nanti.
Okay, you understand what I mean lah. So you can lah. But when you want to add medicine, are you going to update the quantity? This is update, right? But you are not adding. You are update, means that the data is already exists in your system. This medicine is already exists, just that the stock is low stock. So here it's not add medicine, it's actually low stock or update medicine quantity, something like that. Your operation here is not add medicine. Add medicine is a new medicine that new type like before this you don't have Panadol in your clinic. Now you want to stock your Panadol. Okay, so that is add into your database. New type lah. Added quantity is not so this one is not add medicine. It is a low stock quantity, something like that lah. Okay. So you must check other condition and so on.
So because the precondition is just now like that, after the post condition maybe already
remain
update.
Remain unchanged variable from the medicine just now.
Still the minimum remain unchanged.
Minimum you don't have. Now you delete already just now, right?
Yeah. For
then
the
whatever the rest go to the medicine. The rest of variable here. How many you have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So 1 is updated, right? So another 8 will remain unchanged lah.
Another 8 remain unchanged.
You update the quantity, but the rest is remain unchanged. You are not updating the price, you are not updating the ID, you just update the quantity. So the rest will remain unchanged except the quantity.
So if the update one is like just now like this
Override. The circle plus inside. Inside relation.
Sorry.
This one.
So maybe the medicine quantity equal to
medicine quantity plus override. But here you have to. This is not correct yet because you have to know how many in your database already. Let's say you have 4 plus with the new one, the new quantity. So let's say the new quantity is 20, become 24. If you just override like this, it become 20 without the 4 left in the database. So there is a formula that you have to do here. Yeah, plus. But now I haven't teach you yet. You have to use function application. But here actually you have to do something here lah. But there is an update there lah.
So now no need to.
Now just do something like you do plus whatever lah first lah. Just for you to understand. Then later you update. Okay.
Miss, for this one is the library.
Which one is the library?
This one. This one, my one.
Okay.
So now I add appointment, I also must get all this.
Yes.
Means I add this detail to the system and
database.
Because the appointment also include the patient info, right? So how do I?
Okay, the patient info.
This one I combine with their primary key.
You just put the patient ID lah. Link with the. Do you want to get to know whether the patient ID exists or not in this one?
Because this one, if they make appointment, then if let's say the info is already exists, then I just add to their.
But here you add appointment. What is your precondition? The patient already exists or the patient does not exist?
Already exists.
Already exists, then you have to get the ID from patient first. Patient ID, whether it exists or not. Then store that in your database. Get the patient ID.
So we must do something like patient
something
ID,
like that.
It's not part like that.
It's a member lah because already Means that you link here, you have appointment, right? Another one is Z notation patient, for example. Because you want to retrieve the information from patient. Okay, so if you refer to this, go down. Go down. Go down. Something like this. Something like this. You have borrowing like that. You collect information from other states, please.
Oh, so they.
This one. Okay. Like this one. Like this one. Okay. No. This. Okay. Like this is easier. So user here is from user number, right? User number also from user. This one borrows here is actually from borrowing. I'm checking. Okay, this one reservation I am checking here. I'm updating this one. So reservation. This one is reservation. So that's why if you have update to reservation, I use delta. Borrow because I am retrieving the data, right? So I'm not updating whatever. So I use Z notation. User because I want to update, remove the user whatever, right? So there will be update to the user, right? So I use delta also. So means that let's say this is under user. Let's say your module is user. So user is your module, but reservation and borrowing is not your module. Maybe your friend. So you call. But when you call them, you have to know whether you are going to update their database or not. If update, you use delta. If not update, you use Z notation. So these two are from user. This one is from borrowing. This one is from reservation. This one is from my users update. So this one update, this one update, this one remain unchanged.
But here got this the variable inside user reservation borrowing. Don't have to write remain unchanged.
No. Because that one is not your module. Your module only you do the remain unchanged. If your friends are wow, then this one will be like very long. Just do for your module, but you call your friends module to retrieve the information. Okay.
My own module operation.
Then you do remain unchanged. Okay. Even though here like row reservation, you do update reservation, right? But of course you don't need to call everything from reservation not your module. You just update one part only where you update that's all Okay.
So let's say means I want to get the patient info from the my friend module lah.
Then here you have to
put
on top
like this and then down here
you have to look what variable that you want to take from your friend.
Let's say patient ID means so I do something like this.
Something like this. So see what variable that you are going to use
So means this one they put it's part of staff, right?
Means that user number is a member of staff. Means that the user ID is actually inside the staff database.
So the staff is their module name or
variable. Staff.
Because you already include here.
If you look at the state space, users go to the state space user. On top users. Lagi ni staff. It's variable. Outside user this one. You have 3 variable only under users. So that's why you just update 3 variable.
So means let's say now the appointment I have the axiomatic definition for the slot cannot be more than 20 lah. And then so when I put here the condition is must check the if only less than 20 only can add one.
Okay.
I think that's a question.
Recording. Okay.
We try first, please.
Read also the library system. Try to understand. But of course, you haven't finished learning function yet. So that's why some of you. But you can see this one is, let's say, just now, go down. You have 2 data just now. Go down. Like this. You have 2 data. 2 data, username and name. User number and name. Because if you refer to the user state spaces now, you have user number, name. So that's why here the data is 2. User number, name.
They are a pair.
Pair, because you have to insert as pair inside your table.
Oh.
Like one record, you have two column right, two columns. So it's like you have to enter this one column, second column. So same thing lah. You have to must have two.
So we like they call two marks bind together at the same.
So means like this one they bind together. So we also must change our.
Later lah, but you can remain as
For now can.
It's actually the same, just like here. It doesn't show you many to one, many to many. Not show yet. Here shows already. Here is with function. Means that user number is primary key, cannot be duplicated. Okay, so this one is the primary key. So it will show that many to one relationship. So now this is the correct one lah. Here you don't know many to one, many to many. So later you are going to update this to this. But you haven't finished yet. Next week you will finish the function, then you can update this one lah. Okay, but you can go down because you have two right. User number and name just now. Then when you do operation schema, you have two. User number address, user number name. To a pair lah, means you insert inside database a pair already lah. A pair. Because your data table now is a pair. So you put a pair.
It's based to the schema above.
Follow your state space lah.
Oh.
Follow your declaration just now. If user number first, name, first coordinate is user number, second coordinate is name. So your data also must follow. User number is the first one, name is the second one.
Oh.
So you follow what you declare lah. But normally the domain is a primary key. Domain is a primary key. So whatever domain that you have, you put in the primary key. Then the range is other than that. Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I just try.
Okay. Try first. Then we go look at other.
Thank you, Miss.
I don't understand. This one.
Just understand. Can explain.
Yes.
Explain.
Now I have add appointment. Then I get all these details. Okay, now my detail done lah. Then now I want the patient details. Because I cannot just add appointment. I need the name.
Then you have to include patient.
Like this lah.
Like this. This one is you without changing the variable of the borrowing, which means you just retrieve the info from the patient module
Okay.
or patient database file. You can think like that.